Hello, Blue Jays. Wait, Blue Jays? That is amazing. What a good mascot. Caw. I hope that's considered a formal greeting. I'm Alexis Ohanian, and I never expected to be here at a Johns Hopkins graduation. I grew up in Columbia, Maryland, but I knew better than to even consider applying back when I was going to college. But look at me now. Huh? How about that? Getting an honorary PhD. Didn't even have to spend years working on it either. Worked out pretty well for me. I feel very fortunate to be here in front of you all. And I know these are some unprecedented times. And this is a very unique graduation ceremony. Basically just a really long Zoom session. But thankfully, this will be enjoyed in the comfort of our own homes. You don't even need to wear pants. I'm not. I am. I promise. But anyway, growing up in the Baltimore region, I had so much respect for this university. And I know this is not the graduation you all were hoping for. And it's just not the same. But it's your ability to adapt to the ruined dreams of your graduation that are the exact skills that you will need right now. So if that's any consolation, I've got about 5 minutes to tell you everything you need to know in order to thrive amidst an unprecedented global pandemic and recession. Okay, I got this. Look, I don't know what the future will be like. It is my job as co-founder of Initialized Capital to figure out where things are headed and invest in founders who are helping to build the future in order to help build what's next. And we don't know how long this will last. And we're pretty sure there are many parts of our society and our economy that will never be the same again. And so the best thing you can do right now is be adaptive. The strongest entrepreneurs all share the same quality. It's an ability to adapt to circumstances that you cannot control and focus your energy on changing the things and improving the areas you can. You can find opportunities to use this mindset every single day, regardless of whether or not you're an entrepreneur. And in many ways, I think this can be a great way to set the tone for your career now outside of college. Because frankly, failure, setbacks, disappointments, they're all going to be a part of your life. Up until this point, education, and clearly you all have been really good at it. You're graduating from Johns Hopkins University. Up to this point, all of your education has been about not failing. It's been about trying to understand the rules of the game, figuring out whatever it takes to get that A, and then doing it, scoring good grade after good grade on test after test, semester after semester. That's how you got here, by avoiding failure. And yet, there's no more syllabus. There's no more direction. There are no more finals. There is not going to be any more guidance. And failure is going to be a big part of life. Setbacks and disappointments are going to be a big part of your life. And so the very best thing you can be doing right now is dig in and accept that. And then use this new strength and exercise these muscles every day of your life. Because you are in a very, very special group of graduates, right? You are among some of the elites in this country. And you have a responsibility. We all do. I really had no idea what I was doing when I graduated from college in 2005. And I co-founded Reddit right out of school. We managed to get acquired 16 months later. And I thought it was a joke. I didn't know how it was possible after only 16 months worth of work, we could be getting bought. And, I managed 5 years later to come back to Reddit, even after we sold it, take it independent and help lead the turnaround. And I had way more experience, way more understanding. And I'm so proud of the team that was willing to go into a situation where at the time it didn't seem like the most obvious or smartest thing to do, but they took a chance and they've helped Reddit have its renaissance, and credit to all of them for that. But for all the time that I've spent answering people's questions about Reddit and telling them stories, no one's ever asked me about my mobile menu, or which is my clever little name for it. That's because it was our first company and it was a total failure. We'd worked on it for about a year and a half. It was going to be a way to order food from your cell phone. This was back in 2004 when there were no smartphones. And you'd never have to wait in line again. And you would simply send a text, and then the restaurants would get it via a fax, make your order, and have it there waiting for you. So you never had to wait in line again. That was our plan. That was our pitch. We worked on it for a year and a half of our lives, and then we're told it would never work. And those investors were actually right. As an entrepreneur, you'll get told things won't work. As a person out in the world, you'll have the door slammed in your face. You will face setbacks all the time. And the reality is those are learning opportunities. Those are chances to find progress where the world tried to throw you a roadblock. And I feel like in every circumstance that I have gotten into, I've been comforted by the fact that I know I don't know everything. None of us do. Anyone who acts like they do is just lying. We're all figuring it out as we go along. And I'm grateful for the fact that I was given opportunities early on to be able to fail, like my mobile menu. There is no Reddit without and there is no me without those failures, without those setbacks. And, frankly, just when I start to feel pretty good about myself and get a little cocky, I roll over and I see my wife, and, she's the greatest of all time. It's actually quite liberating, to have such a successful partner and know that no matter how many billion-dollar companies I start, I will never make the impact on the world that she has. And there are a few people on the planet who ever will. And I hope all of you find partners who can make you feel that way, who can motivate you to be your best self. And I encourage you right now, start purging the people in your life, the friends, the acquaintances who are not making you better. Now, I know this it probably shouldn't happen over a text message. Although if we were doing this all in person in Baltimore, it might make for some awkward rides home. But at the end of the day, the people you spend your time with will have a disproportionate impact on your life and your well-being. And you should absolutely optimize for people who make you better, for people who teach you to be more patient, or whose qualities you admire, or whose baking skills you wish to learn from. Whatever those things are, those people have such a disproportionate effect on your happiness, on your overall outcome, that it's worth optimizing. Now, we say this for co-founders all the time. It sort of goes without saying, if you're going to start a company with someone, you should find someone whose skills complement yours and whose values align with yours. But I would put that same test to anyone in your life. And, frankly, this is a time that would normally be really special for a lot of loved ones who are in the audience. Hopefully a lot of them are with you physically right now. If they're not, I hope they're tuning in. This is a time when, if we were all in person, I would ask you, I would implore you to go give them a great big hug and thank them and tell them how much you love and appreciate them for supporting you all this way to this point. Those are the people who have made massive investments in you. And this is a very important milestone, not just for you, but for all of them. And so I know it's a little hard with social distancing to be able to fully embrace all of them, but you better throw on a mask, make sure everyone's properly sanitized when the time comes. But seriously, a hug goes a long way. A note of appreciation goes a long way. These people care so much about this day in a way that you can't even comprehend. I know I couldn't have. And I look back on the photos of my own graduation with close family members who have since passed. And there are things I wish I could say to them now that I can't, that I wish I had said back in 2005 that I didn't. And so I hope you can learn from my own mistakes, for my own failures, whether it's or not, giving my mom an extra hug on graduation day. This perspective is so invaluable. And I think that's the curse of it. I mean, I don't have a tremendous amount of life experience yet. I'm only 38. No, 37. I don't know, 37. I do know, though, because of things that happened over the last, call it, decade of my life. I do know, though, how important these people are. And I'll always be grateful to Johns Hopkins. The hospital here actually spent a lot of time treating my mom when she was diagnosed with stage 4 glioblastoma, brain cancer. And I know that she got extra months, if not years, of her life because of the work of doctors, nurses, health workers in your hospital system. And I will always, always be grateful for that. And frankly, it's the reason why I was so humbled and excited to be here for this. To be 21 and get that news when I did, at a time when I had just graduated, was just founding Reddit, felt invulnerable, gave me a perspective that I carry to this day. It gave me a perspective that I reflect on when I see my 2.5-year-old daughter, and I think about the world that she will inherit and how much of it I want to show her and how much more I feel like I need to do to improve it for her. It's wild because even through this screen, I know it won't land in the way that it should, because that curse is that you won't really know until you've lived it and know it. But trust me, any investment you make in the best people in your life right now will pay massive dividends. I'm talking long-term value creation. And it's going to be a long road. There's no sugarcoating it. We don't know what society or this economy has in store for the next few years. And that is the job market. That is the world that you're going out into. And all of you, obviously, in the healthcare profession, I hope will not be forgotten even as things return to normal, because we do have such a high appreciation for all of you. This world is going to be different, but there are still constant threads that will stay the same no matter what changes technologically, no matter what changes economically, no matter what changes societally. And those things are the same things that we as a species had hundreds of thousands of years ago, when our little tribes weren't connected by follows or upvotes or likes, when our little tribes were just the people that we woke up with every morning and went to bed with every night, and the people around us who we could walk to, and that's about it. If anything, I hope you can find a renewed appreciation for those people in your tribes, the ones closest to you and the ones who have gotten you to this point and who will get you to all the places you want to go. Again, graduates, I'm so grateful for this opportunity, and I wish you all the absolute best. Thank you.